Welcome, dear listener, to Northwood Audiobooks. We are so glad you are here with us tonight. Whether you found us by chance or came searching for something to help quiet your mind, you are exactly where you need to be. Make yourself comfortable. Dim the lights if you like. Pull your blanket a little closer. And allow yourself this time, fully and without guilt. This is your space. This is your moment. We hope tonight's audiobook brings you the peace and clarity your heart has been looking for. Let's begin. Fall asleep to Stoic wisdom. Let go of anxiety tonight. A gentle journey through ancient philosophy for the modern, restless mind. There is a kind of exhaustion that sleep alone cannot fix. You know the one. You lie down after a long day, your body tired and heavy, but your mind refuses to follow. It keeps going, replaying conversations, rehearsing future arguments, cataloging mistakes, building worry upon worry, until the ceiling above you feels like it is pressing down, and the quiet of the night feels less like peace and more like a stage for everything you are afraid of. If that is where you are tonight, you are not broken. You are not weak. You are simply a human being living in a world that rarely stops asking things of you. A world that has forgotten to teach you how to rest. Tonight, we are going to travel back in time together, not into fantasy, but into philosophy. We are going to sit with some of the wisest minds who ever lived, men who faced war, exile, slavery, grief, illness, and loss, and who found, through careful thought and daily practice, a way to live with a kind of unshakable calm. They were called Stoics, and what they discovered thousands of years ago is perhaps more relevant tonight than it has ever been. This is not a lecture. This is not a course. This is an invitation to breathe, to soften, and to slowly release the weight you have been carrying. Let each word settle into you like warm water. You do not have to do anything with this material. You do not have to take notes or remember anything. Simply listen. Simply rest. The wisdom will find its way to you. Chapter 1. The night is not your enemy. The ancient Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius was one of the most powerful men who ever lived. He was the emperor of Rome. He commanded armies. He governed millions of people. He carried the weight of an entire civilization on his shoulders. And yet, every single morning, before the world could reach him, he sat down with his journal and wrote. He wrote not to the world. He wrote to himself. He wrote things like this: "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. And this, the impediment to action, advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." He wrote these things not because he had already mastered them, but because he was practicing them. He was reminding himself, day after day and night after night, of what was true. Because even Marcus Aurelius, Emperor of Rome, needed reminding. Tonight, let us begin with one of the most fundamental and most liberating ideas in all of Stoic philosophy. It is this: the night is not your enemy. Your thoughts about the night are. Think about it for a moment. When you lie awake, anxious, what is it that actually troubles you? Is it the darkness? Is it the silence? Most of the time, no. It is what your mind does inside that darkness. It is the stories your mind tells about tomorrow, about yesterday, about everything that could go wrong, and everything that already has. The Stoics had a name for this tendency of the mind to run ahead of reality and to drag the past back into the present. They called it false judgment. And they believed, with great confidence, that false judgments were the root of almost all human suffering. Epictetus, a Stoic philosopher who was born into slavery and later became one of the most celebrated teachers of his time, said it plainly: men are disturbed not by things, but by the opinions about things. Read that slowly. Let it land somewhere in your chest. Men are disturbed not by things, but by the opinions about things. The meeting tomorrow is not making you anxious. Your opinion about the meeting is. The relationship tension in your life is not keeping you awake. Your story about what it means and where it is going and how it might end is. The unpaid bill, the unanswered message, the unclear future. These things exist, but the suffering around them is created inside your own mind. And here is the remarkable gift hidden inside that truth. If your mind creates the suffering, then your mind also has the power to ease it, not by forcing yourself to think positively, not by pretending problems do not exist, but by learning to see more clearly, by separating what is real from what is imagined, by returning again and again to this present moment, this bed, this breath, this body, which right now, in this very instant, is safe. Let your shoulders drop. Feel the mattress beneath you. Feel the weight of your body being fully supported. You do not have to hold yourself up right now. Let something else do that. Let the ground hold you for a little while. The night is not your enemy. You are here. You are breathing. And that is enough. Chapter 2. The two things you can always control. Epictetus had a very simple framework that he returned to again and again throughout his life. He called it the dichotomy of control. And it goes like this: some things are within our control. Some things are not. Wisdom begins when you learn to tell the difference. Within our control, he said, are our opinions, our impulses, our desires, and our aversions. These are the things that are, by nature, free. No one can take them from you. No circumstance can steal them. Even in chains, even in poverty, even in illness, these remain yours. Not within our control is everything else, the body, reputation, property, and whatever is not our own action. These things are, by nature, weak, enslaved, subject to hindrance, and not our own. Now, I want you to really sit with that for a moment, because it might feel uncomfortable at first. We spend an enormous amount of our energy trying to control things that are not within our control. We try to control how other people see us. We try to control outcomes at work, in relationships, in health. We try to control whether the future will be kind or cruel. And every time reality does not cooperate, which it very often does not, we suffer. But here is what Epictetus is pointing toward. Not that you should stop caring, not that nothing matters, but that there is a kind of peace available to you right now, tonight, that does not depend on anything outside of you going the way you want it to go. You cannot control whether tomorrow goes smoothly. You cannot control whether someone you love is angry with you. You cannot control the economy or the news, or the 1,000 uncertain things circling in the world outside your window. But you can control, to a meaningful degree, how you meet this moment. You can control where you place your attention. You can choose to breathe slowly instead of quickly. You can choose to return to what is real instead of what is imagined. You can choose to be gentle with yourself instead of harsh. These are small choices, but they are yours, and no one can take them from you. Try this now. Think of the thing that is weighing on you most tonight. The thing that keeps rising to the surface, no matter how many times you try to push it down. Now ask yourself, gently and without judgment, is this something within my control right now? In this moment? In this bed? In the dark? If there is an action you can take, you will take it. Tomorrow, or when the time is right. But in this moment, right now, what is within your control? Your breath? Your willingness to rest? Your permission to stop fighting and simply be here? Give yourself that permission. You are allowed to rest. You are allowed to set the weight down for tonight. The weight will be there in the morning if you need it. But for now, you do not have to carry it. Chapter 3. On the practice of negative visualization. There is a Stoic practice that sounds, at first, like the last thing you would want to do before sleep. It is called negative visualization. And I promise you, by the time we are finished with this chapter, it will feel less like something dark and more like something quietly beautiful. The Stoics practiced imagining the loss of the things they loved, not because they were pessimists, not because they enjoyed suffering, but because they had discovered something profound. We do not appreciate what we have until we imagine life without it. Marcus Aurelius would remind himself that everyone he loved was mortal, that the things he enjoyed could be taken at any moment, not to create fear, but to dissolve it. Because when you truly sit with the possibility of loss, something shifts. The ordinary becomes extraordinary. The familiar becomes precious. The life you are living right now, however imperfect, reveals itself as a kind of miracle. Tonight, instead of using negative visualization in the traditional way, I want to offer you a softer version, a version for rest. Imagine for a moment that tonight did not exist, that there was no quiet, no blanket, no gentle darkness offering you a pause from the day. Imagine a life without the mercy of sleep, without the gift of night, without this particular moment of softness. Now come back. You have a bed. You have rest available to you. You have a mind capable of wandering through philosophy and wisdom and wonder. You have this moment offered freely, asking nothing of you in return. There is a phrase that comes from Stoic practice, though it was expressed in many ways by many teachers. It is this: amor fati, love of fate, love of what is, not resigned acceptance, not gritted teeth tolerance, but genuine love for the life that is actually yours, with all its difficulties and uncertainties, because it is yours, because it is real, because it is the one you have been given. Your life has hard edges. Every life does. But it also has this breath, this rest. This particular night, which will never come again, exactly this way, let that land softly. You are alive. You made it through another day, whatever it brought, however heavy or sharp or confusing. You carried it. You are still here. That is not a small thing. That is everything. Let your eyes grow heavy now. Let the thought of gratitude sit quietly in your chest, not forced or performed, but genuine. You are here. And being here is a gift that the Stoics understood deeply, and that the rushing, anxious world often forgets. Chapter 4. Seneca and the Art of the Present Moment. Seneca was a Roman statesman, playwright, and Stoic philosopher who lived through some of the most turbulent times in Roman history. He was exiled, recalled, made one of the most powerful men in Rome, and then condemned to death by the emperor he had served. Through all of it, he wrote letters to his friend Lucilius that are still read today, 2,000 years later, because the things he wrote about are still true. One of the things Seneca wrote about most often was time. We suffer more in imagination than in reality, he said. And also this, nusquam est qui ubique est, which means, roughly, he who is everywhere is nowhere. What he meant by that is something we understand perhaps better than any generation before us. To be scattered across time, living in memories of the past and fears about the future, is to be nowhere at all. It is to miss your own life while it is happening. Anxiety is a kind of time travel. It pulls you out of the present and deposits you in futures that may never arrive, in worst-case scenarios that exist only in your imagination, in dark versions of tomorrow that are not real and may never be. The Stoic answer to anxiety is not to think harder about the future. It is to return, as many times as it takes, to now right now, in this moment, you are lying down. The room around you exists. The air in your lungs is real. The weight of your body against the surface beneath you is real. These things are not imagined. These things are here. Seneca wrote to Lucilius, Omnia Lucilia Elena sunt, tempus tantum nostrum est. Everything, Lucilius, is alien to us. Time alone is ours. This moment is yours. Not the meeting tomorrow. Not the conversation you replayed 17 times today. This moment, right now, belongs entirely to you. Bring your attention to your breath. Do not try to change it or control it. Just notice it. Notice the slight rise of your chest or belly as air comes in. Notice the gentle release as it goes. Your body has been doing this all day without you asking. It breathed while you worried. It breathed while you worked. It breathed while you forgot to be grateful for it. And it is breathing now, quietly and faithfully, as you rest. This is the present moment. This breath, this one, and now this one. The Stoics believed that a life well lived was not a life without difficulty. It was a life lived with full attention, with presence, with a willingness to be here, exactly here, in whatever circumstances life had arranged. You do not have to solve anything tonight. You do not have to figure anything out. You only have to be here, and you already are. Chapter 5. Letting go of what others think. One of the great hidden burdens many of us carry to bed every night is this. We replay conversations. We wonder if we said the wrong thing. We worry about how someone perceived us. We rehearse what we should have said, what we wish we had done differently, how we might explain ourselves if given another chance. We hand our peace of mind over to other people's opinions, and then wonder why we cannot sleep. Marcus Aurelius had something to say about this too. I have often wondered, he wrote, how it is that every man loves himself more than all the rest of men, but yet sets less value on his own opinion of himself than on the opinion of others. That is worth sitting with. You love yourself more than anyone else, and yet you trust your own opinion of yourself less than you trust the imagined opinions of people who are not even in the room. The Stoics did not advocate for arrogance or indifference to others. They cared deeply about virtue, about community, about being good to the people around them. But they understood something that takes a long time for most of us to learn. You cannot build your peace on the foundation of other people's perceptions. That foundation shifts too often, and you have too little control over it. What you can do is ask yourself a different question before sleep. Not, what did they think of me? But, did I act with integrity today? Did I do what I believed was right? Did I treat people with kindness, even imperfectly? If the answer is mostly yes, then you can rest. Not because you were perfect, but because you tried. And trying, with genuine intention, is all that Stoic virtue ever asked of anyone. If the answer is no, if you said something unkind, if you acted in a way that did not reflect who you want to be, then that too is information, not a reason for shame, but a compass pointing toward tomorrow's choices. The past is not within your control. What you do tomorrow is, at least partly, yours. For tonight, let go of their faces. Let go of the conversations. Let go of the imagined judgments and the replayed moments. They live in your mind, not in the world. And your mind can choose, with a little practice and a great deal of compassion, to set them down. You are more than what others think of you. You always were. Chapter 6. The Stoic Body. Rest as Virtue. There is sometimes a misconception about Stoicism. People assume it means hardness, coldness, a refusal to feel. They imagine the Stoic as someone who grits their teeth and pushes through everything without complaint. But that is not Stoicism. That is performance, and it is exhausting. True Stoicism, the kind Marcus Aurelius and Seneca and Epictetus actually practiced, was full of tenderness. It was a philosophy that asked you to be honest about your feelings without being controlled by them, to acknowledge difficulty without being destroyed by it, to care deeply about what is good while releasing your grip on what is beyond your reach. And it absolutely included rest. Epictetus taught that we must care for the body with wisdom and discernment. Marcus Aurelius, even in the middle of campaigns and governance and plague, understood that a tired mind could not think clearly, could not lead wisely, could not serve the common good. Rest was not an indulgence. It was a responsibility. Tonight, allowing yourself to sleep is not laziness. It is wisdom. It is you honoring the instrument through which you do everything. The body that wakes and works and loves and tries again. That body needs this. It has earned this. There is a kind of modern guilt that clings to rest, a sense that you should be doing more, that rest is something you have to earn, that lying down is somehow giving up. The Stoics would have recognized this as a false judgment, as an opinion masquerading as a truth. Rest is not the opposite of virtue. Rest is part of it. A rested mind thinks more clearly, acts more wisely, is more patient, more compassionate, more capable of the very things you want to be capable of. So tonight, as you feel the heaviness of sleep beginning to come, do not fight it. Do not find reasons to stay awake with your worries. Recognize this moment for what it is, your body asking for what it needs, and give it that. This is virtue. This is wisdom. This is the Stoic path, not through gritted teeth and cold discipline, but through honest, compassionate care for the one life and one body you have been given. Let your hands relax. Let your jaw soften. let your forehead smooth. There is nothing you need to clench against right now. You are safe. You are resting. You are exactly where you need to be. Chapter 7. On Impermanence and the Gift of Letting Go. The Stoics borrowed something beautiful from the Greek philosophers who came before them: an understanding of impermanence. Everything changes. Everything passes. Nothing lasts forever. Not the good things, and not the bad things. Marcus Aurelius wrote in his Meditations about looking at the great men and women of history, the powerful emperors, the celebrated generals, the brilliant artists, and remembering that they too had passed. They too had worried about things that dissolved into nothing. They too had lain awake, wondering what tomorrow would bring. And then they were gone, and tomorrow came anyway, and the world continued. This might sound melancholy, but the Stoics experienced it as something deeply freeing. If everything passes, then this anxiety will pass too. This difficulty, this uncertainty, this particular shade of worry that has been following you around, it is not permanent. It is not your destiny. It is a season, and seasons change. The Stoics used a phrase, memento mori, which means, remember that you will die, not as a morbid fixation, but as a practice of perspective. When you remember that your time is finite and precious, the small things become smaller. The large spheres begin to loosen. What actually matters rises to the surface. What actually matters is not the impression you made in the morning meeting. It is not whether your house is tidy enough, or your body is the right shape, or your career is impressive enough to the right people. What matters, the Stoics believed, is how you treated people. Whether you lived with integrity, whether you were present to your own life. And the beautiful thing about impermanence is this: it applies to everything, including tonight's anxiety, including the weight in your chest, including the loop in your mind that will not quiet. These will pass. They have passed before, and they will pass again. Nothing you are feeling right now is permanent. It is moving through you, the way weather moves through the sky, and the sky remains. You are the sky, not the weather. You are the still, open space in which all of these experiences arise and pass away. You are not your anxiety. You are not your fears. You are the one noticing them. And that one, the noticer, the witness, is always, always at peace. Rest in that now. In the space beneath the noise, in the stillness that was there before your first thought of the night and will be there after the last one. You are the sky, and the sky is very, very still. Chapter 8. A Letter to Your Anxious Mind. Imagine for a moment that you could write a letter to the part of you that worries, to the part that lies awake, running calculations, checking and rechecking, bracing for impact against storms that may never come. What would you say? The Stoics were great letter writers. Seneca wrote hundreds of letters. Marcus Aurelius wrote to himself every day. They understood that the act of addressing the mind directly, speaking to it honestly and compassionately, had the power to shift something. So let us try it now. Let these words be a letter to your anxious mind tonight. Dear anxious mind, I see you. I know you are working very hard right now. I know you believe that if you stop reviewing everything, something will slip through the cracks. Something will catch you off guard. And you are afraid of that. You have always been afraid of that. But I want to tell you something you may have forgotten. You have made it through every hard thing so far. Every single one. Every day you thought might be too much, you carried it. Every fear that felt enormous turned out to be survivable. Every storm passed, and you are still here. You do not have to protect me tonight. I am safe. The house is quiet. The body is tired. There is nothing being asked of us right now except rest. You are not failing by resting. You are not being careless. You are being wise. Because a rested mind will meet tomorrow with so much more grace than an exhausted one. The Stoics would tell you this. You have done what you can for today. Whatever was in your control, you addressed it. Whatever was not, you could not have changed it by worrying. And tonight, in this bed, in this darkness, there is nothing left to solve. So rest. Not because everything is perfect, not because all the problems are solved, but because the problems will wait. And you need sleep more than you need one more hour of rehearsal. You are loved. You are enough. You are doing better than you know. Sleep now. I will still be here in the morning. With great tenderness. End of letter. Let that settle. Let your body receive those words if they feel true. And if they do not feel fully true yet, let them be a seed, something planted in the soil of tonight, something that might grow over time into a steadier kind of peace. Chapter 9. The Stoic Evening Practice. The Stoics had an evening practice. Epictetus described it. Seneca described it. It was simple, and it was profound, and it is available to you tonight. Before sleep, you ask yourself 3 questions. The first question is this: where did I go wrong today? Not to shame yourself, not to punish or condemn, but to look honestly, with the curiosity of someone who wants to grow, at the moments where you could have done better. Maybe you were impatient with someone. Maybe you avoided something you should have faced. Maybe you spent too long in a spiral of worry that you could have recognized sooner. These are not failures. They are information. Look at them gently. Learn what you can, and set them down. The second question is this: where did I do well today? This is the one we often skip. We are so practiced at cataloging our mistakes that we forget to notice our victories, and the victories are there, even on the hardest days. You kept a commitment to yourself, or to someone else. You chose kindness When you were tired, you showed up, even though showing up was hard. You tried. Whatever the result, you tried. Notice that. Honor that. Let it count. The third question is this: what could I have done differently? Not a question of blame, but of learning, of growth, of slowly, day by day, becoming a little more of the person you want to be. Not perfect, never perfect. The Stoics never aspired to perfection. They aspired to progress, to being, as Marcus Aurelius put it, a little more aligned with virtue today than yesterday. If you want to practice this quietly, right now, you can. Let the three questions move through your mind gently. Where did I go wrong? Where did I do well? What might I do differently? And then, having asked them, let them go. The day is complete. You have given it what you could. Tomorrow is a new beginning, a fresh sheet, an opportunity to try again with everything you have learned. But that is tomorrow. Tonight is tonight, and tonight asks only that you rest. Chapter 10. Coming Home to Yourself. There is a homecoming available to you every single night. It does not require travel or effort or great achievement. It requires only this: returning to yourself. The Stoics spoke often about the inner citadel. Marcus Aurelius used this image. He described the rational mind, the place of calm judgment and clear seeing, as a citadel that no external force could truly breach. You could be surrounded by chaos. You could be in the middle of everything falling apart. But inside, in this quiet inner place, there was always a room that remained calm, that remained yours. You have that room. You have always had it. And tonight, as you prepare to sleep, I want to invite you to come home to it. This is not a room made of walls and floors. It is made of awareness. It is the part of you that notices your thoughts without becoming them. The part that can observe the anxiety rising without being swept away by it. The part that can see the worry without being the worry. That part of you is not anxious tonight. It is quiet. It is watching. It is waiting patiently for you to come back to it. Come back now. Feel your body. Feel the breath. Feel the weight and the warmth. Feel the absolute simplicity of this moment. Air in, air out, body still, room quiet. The Stoics believed that our essential nature, the part of us that was most truly ourselves, was not the emotion or the fear or the ambition or the worry. It was the rational, witnessing awareness that moved through all of those experiences without being defined by any of them. You are that awareness tonight. You are the space in which this quiet evening is unfolding. You are not the anxiety. You are the one who notices it, and the one who notices is always at rest. Let the day dissolve now. Let the faces and the voices and the deadlines soften and blur at the edges, the way things do when you are very close to sleep. Let the story of today lose its grip. You are here. You are home. you are safe. Chapter 11. One last thought before you sleep. Marcus Aurelius ended many of his meditations not with grand conclusions, but with simple reminders, small, quiet notings of what was true, as if he were leaving a note for himself to find in the morning. Let us end tonight the same way. You are not required to have everything figured out. No Stoic ever did. No human being ever has. Wisdom is not a destination you arrive at and then stay. It is a direction you choose, again and again, to walk toward. Some days you walk well. Some days you stumble. Both are part of the path. Tonight, you chose to spend some time with ancient wisdom. You chose to be still. You chose, even in the middle of a busy, anxious world, to slow down and listen for something deeper. That matters. That is not nothing. The Stoics would say that every day we practice virtue. Every day we return to what is true and good, and within our control. We are becoming. We are not finished. We are in the process, and the process itself is the point. Tomorrow you will face things. Some will be manageable. Some will be surprising. Some will test you in ways you cannot anticipate tonight. But you will meet them with whatever you have carried through this evening. And perhaps, rested and softened and a little more reminded of what actually matters, you will meet them a little more gracefully. You do not have to be Stoic in the popular sense of the word, hard and unfeeling and unmoved. You only have to be Stoic in the true sense, present, honest, focused on what is within your reach, kind to yourself and others, willing to keep trying. That is all. That is the whole philosophy, really, distilled to its essence. Be here. Do what you can. Let go of what you cannot change. Try again tomorrow. You can do that. You have been doing something like it all along now. Let your mind grow quieter. Let the thoughts come if they come, and let them pass if they pass. You are not fighting them tonight. You are not chasing them. You are simply here, breathing, resting, being. The ancient Stoics, those wise and weathered souls who sat in dusty rooms and wrote by lamplight and tried to understand how to live well in a difficult world, they would recognize you tonight. They would see someone trying, someone reaching for wisdom, someone willing to sit with hard questions and gentle truths. They would say, "You are not alone in this." They would say, "The struggle is human and the seeking is noble." They would say, "Sleep well. Tomorrow is waiting, and it will need you rested, so sleep. Let the wisdom you have received tonight do its quiet work while you rest. Let it settle into you the way rain settles into earth. Slowly, gently, nourishing something you cannot quite see yet, but that is growing, even now, even as you drift. The night is yours. This breath is yours. This rest is yours. Sleep now, sleep well, and know, as you drift toward morning, that you are more capable, more resilient, more worthy of peace than you have been allowing yourself to believe. Good night, Dear listener, good night from all of us at Northwood Audiobooks. We will be here when you need us again. Sleep now. All is well.